So you clicked on this video because you are a student who has a lot going on, but you still want to find a way to get a job on the side without needing any experience. Well, you've come to the right spot. I will be going over the 3 jobs that I got all as a high school student, how I got them, and what you can do to vastly improve your chances of getting a remote job as a student with no experience. Now, remote jobs are an absolute dream given their flexibility and their income, but because they're so popular, trying to get one as a student can seem almost impossible, which is why our first step is figuring out what your interests are and what separates you from the competition. Now, before you even think about applying to a remote job in the first place, you need to take some time to consider what your unfair advantages are. Now, these are essentially skills or areas of knowledge that you have or are willing to learn that will help to give you a leg up over the competition. Maybe you happen to be a really great writer and you have a lot of experience researching things for your classes. Or maybe you just know a ton about a specific field, like video games, sports, a certain class that you're taking, or just any other topic or field that you're really passionate about. Now, all of these different aspects will help to give you an advantage and make you stand out against the other people who are also vying for similar positions. So right now, I want you to make a list on your phone, on a piece of paper, or just in your mind about the topics and fields that you may be more knowledgeable about than the average person, or any unique skills or experiences that you might have. And even if it doesn't seem super interesting right now, I still want you to write it down because it's going to be really important for the next step of finding ourselves a remote job. Now that we've made a list of our unfair advantages, let's talk a little bit more about the jobs that I did. The remote jobs that I did were primarily teaching and writing based, which consisted of me tutoring, me writing blogs, and me editing blogs as well. Now you can start to see why determining our unfair advantages right now is so important, because having a skill that no one else has will help you stand out. Now, naturally, these jobs are going to be better suited for different types of people, so take note of your personality and listen closely because I'm going to go into my personal insight about the kind of jobs that you should try applying for if you're interested in them. If you tend to be more outgoing and enjoy talking to people and you already have a specific field that you're interested in, then tutoring may be the route for you. This is especially true if you already have really good grades in a certain class, because this will automatically act as an indicator that you've mastered the subject and the knowledge and are ready to teach someone else about what you already know. On the flip side, if you intend to enjoy working by yourself more and not talking to other people as often, then doing remote blog or writing jobs may be the direction that you want to take. Ultimately, I did both of these jobs myself and I enjoyed both of them a lot, but I will say that the writing jobs were a bit more convenient because I was able to essentially write whenever I had the free time and I wasn't necessarily fixed to a specific schedule. However, since I tend to be a more talkative person, I found the tutoring jobs to be much more fun and engaging since I was able to actually work one-on-one with someone and see them progress in their educational journey without me just being cooped up by myself writing blogs alone. So ultimately, it does come down to your personal preference and what jobs that you feel you're better suited for. So now that we've talked about the actual kinds of remote jobs that you can get, let's dive a little bit deeper into how you can get these jobs. Now, for jobs like tutoring, there's a couple different avenues you can take, like checking out your school's job board or literally going to a tutoring center like Kumon and applying there and teaching for an organization. Now, I think by far the most flexible method is by setting up your own tutoring business. You can do this by offering your services on different Facebook groups, or you can literally just reach out to your classmates and your friends and ask if there's any subjects that they might need help getting tutored on, and you can get money that way. Now, I did my tutoring gigs through an actual tutoring service, so they were able to match all the tutoring gigs for me. But if you do set up your own tutoring service, you will find that it can be much more scalable and flexible, aka way more money, and you'll be able to make your own hours and set things on your own schedule. So if you have a lot of time and you feel like you're really knowledgeable about a certain subject, then definitely creating your own tutoring business is the way to go. Now, finding blog writing jobs can be a little bit trickier since companies aren't always looking for people to create content for them, and it's very easy to be outclassed by other people in the field. Now, as I mentioned previously, looking up jobs at your school's career center is one way to get blog writing jobs, but the method that actually got me my blogging jobs was through the use of cold emailing. Now, the way that cold emailing works is that you just straight up email a business and then you provide your credentials, your services, and propose ways that you can help them with their creative content. So what I ultimately did was I made a list of smaller businesses in my areas that didn't have a significant social media or blogging presence on the internet. I then drafted up an email saying about how great it would be if I was able to create a blog for them, which would definitely help them to boost sales. Now, the key here is to make your services sound really useful and explicitly state how your services would help the company in some way. Ideally, this makes it so that the business will justify the cost of bringing you on as long as they can get some kind of boosted sales from it. So if this is the route that you want to go down, make a list of some of the small businesses in your area and ask them if they could use some extra help writing blog material or revamping an existing blog that they already have to help get their social media presence on the map. Now, this is where the tricky part comes in, because many of you might not actually have any explicit writing or tutoring experience that will help to let people know that you actually know what you're doing. Our next step is going to be really important because we're going to be talking about how we actually improve our chances of getting a remote job. And it may not actually be what you expect. This is because while you might not have experience right now, you can actually create experience for yourself that you can then put on your resume to show off your skills. On the tutoring side of things, one thing that really helped me was creating a sample study guide or overview about the subject that I wanted to teach. And then I gave that to my employer as an example of how I would try to teach that subject to students. So if you want to teach something like calculus, try making a sample lesson plan that you would use to teach a student, and even create your own practice problems with answer keys. In this way, you're showing your employer or potential clients that you've not only mastered the concepts, but you've already thought ahead and created a plan that will help your students succeed. This displays initiative on your part and that you genuinely care for your students, and that of course you are confident about the subject and that you would make a great tutor. Now for blogging, if you want to prove your writing ability, it's literally just as simple as starting your own blog about something you're passionate about. Now there are a ton of free websites that you can use to start a blog, like Wix, Weebly, WordPress, and Blogger. Then I want you to just spend a week creating short blog posts each day about a topic that you have a lot of interest about, which will naturally make the writing more fun and let your personality and your writing ability really shine. This method is really easy to implement immediately, and it looks really good to employers when you have a way to show off your writing abilities, since you can simply just include a link to your website on your resume to show off your sweet skills. Another really easy way to create experience is by creating a blog, marketing materials, or other creative content for a club at your school. And if you can, write some articles for your school's journalism program, which is really easy to do, and if you can get it published online, this will boost your credibility even more. At the end of the day, creating as much experience as you can is a surefire way to add some new and exciting things to your resume. Now, I wanted to leave things off by giving you some final tips on how you can boost your chances of getting yourself a remote job. As I said before, your best bet is to apply to smaller or local companies, as they'll give you the best chances of securing a job for yourself as opposed to the much larger companies that have a lot more competition. Once you do apply, it is really important that you create a tailored cover letter and resume that is made specifically for the position that you're trying to apply for. Now, they don't have to be drastically different from each other, but taking the time to make little tweaks to your application will let employers know that you aren't just copying and pasting the same cover letter and resume to every place that you apply to. Lastly, and arguably the most important tip, is just be patient and apply to a lot of different places if you can. When I was trying to get the jobs that I wanted, it definitely took me a couple of tries, so I'm definitely not a magic human being that can get a job instantly on my first try. Keep doing your best and don't get discouraged, and I promise you that if you keep going at it, then you are guaranteed to get yourself a remote job. Now, there are a lot of things that I didn't get into in this video, like how to write a good resume or some other good online jobs that students can apply to, so if you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you found the video helpful, subscribing would be highly appreciated. But thank you so much for watching. Go get yourself the remote job, and I will see you in the next one.